I'm John Connolly, the author of The Furies, and I'm here in the lovely Kennys Bookstore in Galway. The Furies, the new novel, is available from them at kennys.ie. For a few days I saw and heard no more of Raum Buker and experienced no great sense of regret. I finished up some routine jobs that paid the bills, the confirmation of a simple case of insurance fraud, the interviewing of potential witnesses for an upcoming trial, and the shadowing of a straying spouse as ammunition for an imminent divorce case. Roby Logan, who'd been a PI in Bangor back in the 60s and 70s, once told me that the worst misfortune ever to have befallen the trade was the introduction of no-fault divorce in Maine back in 73. After that, he said, he could no longer afford a new car every year. Nobody got so irate with me that they felt inclined to throw a punch, or worse, pull a gun. Each night I'd take a hot bath because lately I hurt more than I used to, and a bath helped. Afterwards I'd look in the mirror, note my scars and test how deep they went. Sometimes I think about how I'd come by them. I'd heard a claim that the mind buries the memory of suffering in order for life to go on, but it's not true, or not from my experience. Some said the same about women in childbirth, but I knew plenty of women, my ex-partner Rachel included, for whom the pain of parturition remained fresh even years after the event. I could still recall the agony of the shotgun blast that had almost taken my life, did take my life if you talk to the doctors, because I died on that operating table and they brought me back, not once, not twice, but 3 times. I still woke in the night to feel the pellets tearing through me, and then I died all over again. On an icy early February morning, I took the long drive south to visit the graves of Susan, my wife, and Jennifer, my first daughter. I paid to have the marker cleaned and the moss cleared from the carved letters. It made the stone look almost new, so that briefly I was a younger man again, seeing their passing confirmed for me by an artisan's hand. The bite of their loss had dulled, but it would never entirely dissipate, and that was as it should be. Someday, long after I was gone, their identities would be erased entirely by the elements, or the stone would fall and become overgrown by vegetation, and this too was in the way of things. They wouldn't be the first to be forgotten in this manner. Not in that place. They lay in an old cemetery, and their names would be added to its secret list of the lost. I would never join them in that plot, though. I'd made a decision a long time ago not to rest there. It would have caused too much pain to the surviving members of Susan's family, and I was already responsible in their eyes for a sufficiency of misery. In the end, it wouldn't matter to me where I was laid, although I'd chosen to be buried next to my grandfather in Scarborough's Black Point Cemetery, if only to save anyone else the stress of making the decision on my behalf. I knew that I'd be seeing Jennifer again in the next life. Susan also, perhaps, but certainly Jennifer. I knew because sometimes I still glimpsed her in this life. She haunted me, and I was grateful for her presence, for the most part.